Hello there, chicas.
Welcome to Chicuz Radio, where two cousins share their journey of self love, personal growth, and adulting in general. We are your hosts, Chelsea,
And Aika.
inviting you to join us in this week's episode.
Tara, let's make chica. Yay. Hello.
Laging ang awkward after nung tara, let's make chika.
Welcome back to the show.
Welcome back. How's your week, cuz?
Wow. Productive, I have to say. Very productive ng aking week. And in line with that, sabihin ko na rin what I'm grateful for.
Go ahead.
And it's the Google Calendar. Grabe, ladies and gentlemen, kung hindi nyo po na-discover ang greatness ng Google Calendar, gawin nyo na. I-check
Yes.
nyo na and palitan nyo yung mga colors ng default ng Google Calendar and it will change your life. Lalo na sa mga Virgo energy dyan and sa mga OC kagaya namin. Ay,
Yes.
grabe. It's life-changing. Ganun.
True.
Ikaw naman.
So for me, actually somehow related with you being thankful for Google Calendar. Ako naman, actually, I'm really thankful for this week because I was able to give myself some me time. Before we recorded the podcast episode last week, I was so lost. I was feeling lost. I was feeling overwhelmed with everything that's been happening in my life. And I realized that I needed to give myself some me time. So after we had our personal chikahan na outside the recording, I really prioritized giving myself me time over the week. And tinry ko talaga siyang isingit. And super thankful ako kasi I was able to. And I really needed that me time. And actually, yun din yung reason kung bakit we had to somehow change the episode for this week, diba?
Yes.
So for this week, we are going to share with you our process in reviewing our mid-year. So, as the Virgos we are, we really function in having systems, and one of those is really having review and planning time in our lives. Hindi lang namin siya ginagawa in our work, in other personal projects, but also in our personal lives. So, care to share kung saan nanggaling ang ating mid-year review guide?
So, this guide or worksheet came from Paano Ba To by Bianca Gonzalez last year, and her guest was Arian Serafico. She did this workshop online for Bianca's viewers. And I found it very useful. Lalo na kasi nga pandemic last year and it's uncommon, 'di ba, that we do mid-year reviews because usually we do like end of the year for the planning of the upcoming year. So, nung napanood ko 'to, ginawa ko talaga siya. I followed it last year and nakakatuwa kasi when I did my year-end review last year, mas nakatulong siya, mas madali na siyang gawin. Kasi nakita ko kung ano yung nangyari, na-process ko yung half of the year.
I'm not aware of the of the podcast or the episode of Bianca Gonzalez. So, yung chikahan namin ni Ate Aika last week, it was just during that time that I heard about the worksheet. Pero usually talaga when we do mid-year personal planning, I just Google worksheets and then may lalabas siya. Pero I just used yung sinuggest ni Ate Aika kasi it's just a simple it's just a simple guide. So yeah, come along with us as we review our year so far. And what I really like about mid-year planning is itong part kasi ng year na 'to, when you're halfway there pa lang, parang things seems overwhelming or underwhelming pa kasi hindi mo alam what's happening, or like you're just going through life day by day. And I saw another worksheet na I really like what she wrote in the worksheet, yung mid-year worksheet niya. Kasi ang nakalagay, looking back to move forward.
Oh, ang ganda. It's very true. The middle is always parang ano ba yung nangyari sa past? And meron ka pang time like to finish it, 'di ba? Kasi pag end of the year, there's such a finality to it. But if there's a mid-year, it's like a semicolon instead of a
Ah.
instead of a period, it's like a semicolon. It's not yet finished.
In one of the worksheets that I saw as well, I like the quote, reflection enables us to evaluate the experience, learn from mistakes, repeat successes, revise, and plan. Which is timely siya in the mid-year kasi nga a lot of things can happen in those 6 months already. It's like you giving yourself a chance to revise the systems that you made during the beginning of the year, or like repeat those systems that really worked for you. So yun, I hope you get to be inspired to do your mid-year planning. It's not yet too late, so maybe we can start.
Yes. Okay. So first thing is about pausing and celebrating our wins. And meron siyang one, two, three, four, five. Five categories. Number one, career or work. Then number two, finances. Number three, family and relationships. Number four, health. And number five, personal growth. So we're gonna start about pausing and celebrating our wins regarding career or work. So number one for me is that I still have work. And number two is that I'm really enjoying the work from home setup. So that's a win for me. And then still having my favorite team in the world. Sobrang love na love ko talaga yung colleagues
Shout out
ko.
ba?
Yes, hello, my colleagues. Hello. And then, of course, having my work recognized or just having a smooth workflow every time. Yung mga walang problems, walang errors, walang issues. And then next is regarding changes on my work. As always, in any company, people come and go. So, nagbabago or nadadagdagan or nababawasan yung team. So, that's one of like the big changes regarding my work. And then shortcomings or things I wish I could have done more, well, is to be more proactive in learning new things.
For me naman, regarding work and career, for my wins, actually it's the same as yours. Me still having a job. It's really something to be thankful for and to be proud of, especially during this time. Um, Having a successful curriculum na the parents recognized, the students enjoyed, and also the school appreciates. So it's actually the Peace Lab. I somehow introduced and started the Peace Lab in our school in kindergarten. And because of that, they invited me to give a talk in social studies in preschool. Changes in my career and work is actually not taking up the let. Kasi I was supposed to take the let this
Parang
year, but then
2019 pa yun, ah.
sobra lagi kasi siyang naka-cancel. So, ayun, inaccept ko na parang this year sobrang malabo na makapag-let pa ako, or the licensure exam for teachers. Another change would be classroom responsibility for this coming school year. We just ended the previous school year, so another change that I didn't expect would be my responsibility grew in the classroom. It's not just the peace lab anymore. So I have to give focus on other quote unquote subjects or other matters in the classroom. And then another change is for me, me simplifying things, especially in the online class setup. Kasi I realized na I've been treating myself as a production team in the online class setup. So I'm trying to approach things differently na I'm going to simplify things or my work para hindi na naman siya nakakapagod on my end. And then for my shortcomings, I think, well, I wrote here, managing my time and energy better.
Kailangan.
Yes, and then nakulangan ako sa energy ko towards the end of the school year. So, yun.
So, mag-move on naman. Mahaba pa eh. So, we'll move on to
Mhm.
our second subcategory, which is celebrating our wins regarding our finances. So, for me, is number one, is I still have a stable income from my day job. And then I'm still able to save up for my emergency fund. And I'm able to pay pag-ibig. Yes, paying the government in the Philippines. So that's a win for
Did you
me.
just started this year?
No, I started last year. Pero win siya for me kasi additional na lang siya eh. Hindi naman talaga siya requirement. And
Mhm.
I have other adulting like insurances and investments aside from the pag-ibig
Mhm.
benefit that we get from the government in the Philippines. Yes. And then next, eto very proud ako. Changes. Kasi wala masyadong changes sa aking finances during the past 6 months. Unlike nung 2020 na talagang major change. So, it means dahil wala masyadong changes, very good yung 2020 ko na naayos ko siya. Kasi ngayon, stable na. So, regarding the shortcomings, wala din. Parang I'm proud of it, pero I'm not boasting about it. Pero
Mm.
yun lang yung like benefits of planning ahead with regards to finances. Ayun, ikaw naman?
Nice. Okay, so for me, finance. Actually, when it comes to finances, hindi ko siya priority. Kapag nagpaplano ako, hindi ko siya priority. Kasi unlike you, I'm still living with my parents. So parang hindi ako masyadong pressured compared to your situation na you're in another country, ganyan. So, it was enlightening on my part na I just started reflecting when it comes to my finances. So, ang win ko actually is being debt free.
Yay! Woo! Win
So,
yun, win talaga yun.
sobra, as in, well, yon yung pagiging debt free when it comes to credit card.
Oo, totoo yun.
Yes, ayun. Na sakto itong June, yun yung na-clear ko. Akala mo ang dami ng utang. Pero I mean, na-clear ko yung credit card ko, ganyan. And then, win din for me na finally, I don't know, since last year, I've been trying to enroll my bank account sa online banking. Pero ngayon ko lang siya nagawa.
Yes! Woo! Finally! Nag-evolve na po yung Pokemon.
Yes. Ang nakakatawa pa kasi sobrang unexpected na yung hindi ko siya skinedule. Kasi before I've been putting it in my calendar na oh this week you're going to enroll yourself in your bank account ganyan sa online banking. And then hindi siya lagi natutuloy. Pero sobrang unexpected. Lumabas lang kami outside. Actually, sinamahan ko lang yung boyfriend ko. Tapos habang naghihintay sa kanya, ginawa ko lang siya sa phone na parang ako, ang bilis lang pala nito. Bakit ilang months ko siyang pinospone, tas yun lang pala yun. Anyway, yun. Sobrang convenient niya pala. So,
Yes.
actually, yun din yung reason kung bakit ako naging debt-free.
Kasi marunong na siya mag-online banking.
For the changes naman, during the start of the year, I planned to get into a side hustle to add to another source of income. So I didn't push through with it kasi I realized na I think enough naman yung day job ko and hindi na rin talaga siya kaya ng time ko. It was something that I planned early this year na I had to change. And then I gave a budget na for schooling. So since hindi kaya for me to take the licensure exam, which is something I can control. So ako na lang yung mag-a-adjust nung plans ko. So I'm going to take up my master's instead. And then for the shortcomings, if you listen to our previous episodes and you make context clues, we're not at home. We're renovating our home. So, isa sa shortcomings ko sa finances is dumami yung food deliveries namin. Kasi, unlike sa bahay na I can freely cook or mas experimental sa food kasi you have all the equipment. Equipment pa tawag doon. Basta,
Ingredients.
ingredients and also, yun nga, equipment like yung oven and stuff. This time, yun, wala. So, medyo constraint yung pwedeng gawin kasi nga, we're not at home. So, dumami yung food delivery. And then, nilagay ko dito shortcomings ko, buying unnecessary tech stuff.
Yes.
But since, kasi ang nilagay ko dito, for example, it started kasi with a microphone. So what I'm doing instead to overcome that shortcoming is making it useful. So, ito nga, we started the podcast and everything. So, yun.
Moving on to our third subcategory, family or relationships. So for me, my wins are having regular family calls, hangouts with friends, catching up with friends that are long distance, like my friends sa Philippines and sa UK, and then having this weekly podcast call. And then for my changes, dito kasi sa Singapore, during the first half, we can actually meet up physically. Yun. That's one major change. Kasi noong 2020, hindi talaga. Sobrang taong bahay. And then, so finally, from January until June, until they implemented stricter measurements again, I actually go outside of the house na and socialize with people. So, hindi na lang taong bahay. And then, shortcomings, think I could have been more present when being with people. Kasi nga, sometimes talaga, you're there, but then, mentally, you're not there. So, I still try to be always present for the people around me pag magkasama kami. Yun, ikaw naman.
So for me, when it comes to family and relationships, biggest win for me na actually COVID-free. Actually, health-related siya.
Mm.
Pero it's a win kasi something na I would like to take credit for. Di naman ako fully, pero ako kasi yung nagagalit sa grown-ups kapag hindi sila careful, ganyan, or lalabas ng wala namang dahilan, ganyan. So, kahit ako yung kontrabida sa mga plano nila, I'd take credit for keeping them safe. Kahit yun
Very
nga,
good kaya
kinokontra ko
yun.
yung plans.
Very good yun. Kasi
Yun.
nga makulit
So,
talaga sila minsan eh.
and win for me yung mas comfortable na ako in saying no to some responsibilities or at least be more transparent na when it comes to putting boundaries sa, yun nga, sa responsibilities and communicating better with especially with my parents. And because of that, I guess we became closer in a way. It's also a win for me na I'm more comfortable in being in a conversation with my group of friends. So before kasi, ewan ko, meron akong social anxiety. Kahit alam mo yung friends ko sila, parang feeling ko, sobrang careful ako sa mga sasabihin ko.
Oh, I didn't
Oo.
know that.
Parang before our Zoom calls, kasi syempre, we can't see each other physically. So, when they set up this Zoom call, sobrang I had to prep myself first before I enter the Zoom call. I needed to had that coaching session with my boyfriend na tell him everything that I'm worried about, ganyan. Na parang ang unreasonable actually, na wala akong basis dun sa worries ko. Out of nowhere, feeling ko, galit sila sa akin, ganun. So, I'm super proud of myself
Oh,
na
I'm proud of you din.
this year na mas comfortable na ako as in mas nakakapag-engage na ako sa conversations with them. Mas nale-let go ko na yung sarili ko and syempre fun na comfortable na ako to show myself. And then for the changes, I choose not to share na lang. And then for the shortcomings, nilagay ko dito, having difficulty in accepting change in plan. Although I'm more open now in my relationships, parang hirap pa din ako to accept. Pero I try. Yun.
Moving on to our fourth subcategory. This is about health. So, my wins are the following: better sleep for the first half of the year, and then being able to go on hikes or nature walks, and then having this micro habit of stretching every morning. Well, before kasi talaga, originally, my ideal setup is to do 10 minutes of yoga. Pero sometimes talaga sobrang lazy. So, I incorporated a 2-minute stretch la lang
Mm.
every morning, which is better than not stretching at all. And then, another one for my mental health naman is learning the technique of EFT, or emotional freedom technique, tapping. EFT is really helpful for me, lalo na kapag I feel overwhelmed or I feel anxious about things in my life. I tap. So for those of you who don't know about it, you can Google it. Or we can have another topic which will explain in depth about like EFT and other tools that we use whenever we feel this negative energy in our lives. And then one more, which I think is a win, is being able to really eat on time.
Oh.
Because before, nakakalimutan ko siyang kumain. So, I made an effort na kumain on time. Talagang breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Kailangan meron siya. And it's a win because, of course, our body needs food and nutrients. So, yes. For the changes naman, it's more on mental health, which is I have less anxiety compared last year. And then there's still like emotional instability. Forever ng up and down ng emotions natin. But it's more on how we cope up with the changes. And then this change is something I'm not very proud of. But I've been eating and drinking junk foods
Foods. Pwede. Yes.
more. Yung to the point na nagke-crave ako sa chips and soft drinks. Dati talaga before the pandemic, I was able to live without drinking any soft drinks for years. And then for my shortcomings, I should cut down on my junk foods intake, especially sa soft drinks. Another shortcoming is to sleep earlier because although I get better sleep, I was still not sleeping in my ideal time. Your turn.
Okay, so my turn. When it comes to health, yung wins ko would be yun, COVID-free. And then number two, being more confident and accepting of myself. So for my last win sa health category would be something that I'm really thankful and sobrang proud ako kasi ang tagal ko na siyang pino-push back. Finally, I got myself checked and turns out I have mild PCOS. So, yun. Ah, it explains a lot of things. Yung mga pinagdadaanan ko like hormonal imbalance, ganyan, yung rage of emotions. Tama ba?
Yes.
Yan. So, range of emotions and then yung irregular periods ko. Sobrang, ang dami niya na-explain. So, parang, oh, bakit ngayon lang ako nagpa-check? So, yun. Finally, 2021, nakapagpa-check na ako. Changes in my uh, health category would be not having much time and space for working out kasi nga we had to move out of our house. So, nawalan ako ng time for my workouts. And then actually kasama din doon would be changes in my routines and habits. So when we moved out, syempre, yung systems ko at home, hindi na siya nag-work. When we moved to another place, so I had to change things up. Until now, I'm still working on them. Kaso babalik na kami ulit ng bahay. So, kailangan ko talaga to learn how to be more flexible when it comes to those things. And then, nilagay ko dito na shortcomings ko is giving into things that are numbing. Numbing that is social media.
Oh, okay.
So, I realized na whenever I'm feeling overwhelmed, parang there would be times na mas magsa-cellphone ako, ganyan. It was because of nawalan ako ng time sa pag-workout. So, nagkaroon ako ng maraming time off na hindi ko alam kung ano yung gagawin ko.
Okay, so last subcategory for celebrating our wins is about personal growth. Yay! Sobrang tuwang-tuwa. Ibang energy. Okay, so these are my wins regarding personal growth. Number one is, of course, starting this podcast. And then I was able to make a short story that I realized I haven't done for a long time. Parang elementary pa yata yung last time akong nagsulat na short story.
Grabe!
Yeah, and parang homework pa siguro yun. Mga
Mm.
ganong levels. Pero yung personal short story that I wanted to write and tell the world, it's the first time. And then I got back to baking. Not that I was like into baking that much before, but I tried to bake before. Pero ngayon, I really had that urge to make or bake cookies and banana breads. And then, of course, being more self aware and having more self love. And then, continuous journal writing and adding more tools in my holistic life toolkit. So, ayun, example nga is yung EFT and saying more affirmations towards myself and towards others rin. And for my changes, I have more time to do what I want and to reflect more. And Change is I feel more confident and secure this 2021. And for shortcomings, medyo ang weird niya kasi nga because yung changes nga, one of it is I have more time. So yung shortcomings, one of my shortcomings is wasting time doing nothing at all. Kasi talaga, before, for me, you always have something that you can do. So, bakit ka magsasabi ng bored ka? And then, nangyari nga yun during this first half of 2021 sa akin. And, nabore ako. Sobra talagang nabore ako and sorry sa mga taong na-judge ko na nagsasabing na-bore sila. I feel you guys. I'm very sorry. So, another one is procrastinating. Although, of course, every year, I'm getting better and better at it. Pero may mga bagay talaga na I still procrastinate.
So for me naman, for the personal growth, actually, ang dami na parang halos magkapareho tayo. Kasi ang nilagay ko ditong win ko is self-love.
Ah,
Kasi nga, na-mention ko na kanina na itong year na to yung sobrang nakahinga ako ng maluwag na mas na-accept ko yung sarili ko. And as in, I can finally say that I truly love myself.
yay.
Hindi na siya yung words lang. Kasi before, whenever we say, or at least ako, whenever I say na I love myself, I miss myself, yung mga ganon, parang na-realize ko ngayon na they were just words. Ngayon talaga, as in, totoo, love ko yung sarili ko. And with that, mas naging accepting ako sa sarili ko, mas naging confident ako to express myself. And next na nilagay ko dito is, ang ganda. Sorry, natuwa ako sa sarili ko.
See, sabi sa inyo talaga yung self-love.
Natawa ako kasi nilagay ko dito. Nakakatawa naman yung expression ko. Ang ganda. Okay. Yung nilagay ko dito, I didn't give up on things no matter how hard they are. They
Oh,
were.
maganda nga
No
na.
matter how hard they were.
Maganda naman talaga.
Yan. It's something na, something to be proud of. Yan. And then, actually feeling ko connected din yung next one ko kasi nilagay ko dito. It's a win for me that I still feel motivated despite of all the challenges and rejections na nangyari for the first half of the year. Like for example nga, yung hindi na matuloy-tuloy na licensure exam namin. Na parang ako, uy, gusto ko na lang talaga maka-move forward sa career ko. So, kahit nakailang cancellation na yung licensure exam, parang ako, sige, mag-adjust na lang tayo, mag-change of plans na lang. And na alam mo yun, hindi ako na-discourage na may way pa rin to move forward in my career. Yun. And then, win for me, personal growth, I think connected din pala siya sa self-love is reconnecting with my friends. Sorry, part din pala siya ng relationships, pero I think under din kasi siya nung self-love na because of it, mas nakapag-connect ako with other people. And then, last na, nilagay ko dito na win is choosing to save Mother Earth.
Whew, come on, advocacy.
So, when we moved out, na-realize ko kasi na ang dami kong gamit. So, I'm starting to choose to save Mother Earth. Na parang na-realize ko kasi, ano mangyayari sa mga gamit ko pag nawala ako all of a sudden? Magiging kalat lang siya kay Mother Earth. So, I started digitizing my notes. So, win siya for me. Kasi, I'm someone, if you know me personally, I super, super love stationaries. So, ang laki adjustment niya for me. So, it's just a small step but it's a win for me. For someone na, yun nga, merong addiction sa stationaries.
I
Yun.
understand kasi ako meron pa rin. Hindi ko pa rin siya ma-digitize? Digitalized? Hindi ko
Actually,
pa
di ko
rin
alam.
kung ano man yung tamang term. Basta hindi ko pa rin siya magawang digital. I still prefer more sa paper. So, yes, okay. You again.
Pero it's okay. You do you. You do what works for you. And then changes would be yun nga, yung mga routines ko and systems that I made. Sa shortcomings ko, I wrote down here giving into laziness and distractions. Sorry, nakakatawa siya, Furry.
No, pero it's so true. Very related dun sa shortcomings
Oo.
ko.
And I think connected yung next ko na shortcoming kung bakit why I easily give into laziness and distractions kasi I have less time reflecting. So, I have less of productive me time. Kaya sobrang thankful ako kasi, yay! This is, yung mid-year planning is part of me time.
Yay! Nakakatuwa 'no? Sobrang ang dami na po naming sinabi. Meron pa
Yes.
pong 2 and 3 sections. But I think this 2 and 3 mas mabilis na lang siya.
Yes.
Because yung first part is more on looking back to the past 6 months and reflecting what are our wins, what are the changes that happened, and what are the things that we could improve on.
Yeah, I
Yes.
think yung next part would be how to move forward.
Yes, exactly. Yun yung sasabihin ko. So now that we've done the past, it's time to look into the future naman. So for the second section, this is listing down three big goals for the second half of 2021 and most importantly, writing down the why of those big goals. You start first naman.
Ah, sige. Kaso, nalagay ko lang dito 2 goals pa lang.
It's okay lang naman din.
Ayan.
Maximum lang naman yun pala. Oo nga. Maximum of three big goals. Bakit three? Kasi nga, mamaya, ang dami nating ilagay, masyado na tayong ma-overwhelmed. So, 1 to 3. Maximum
Okay.
yung 3. Okay.
Sige. So, pero I just thought of my third one. Pero kasi, yung nilagay ko dito na goals ko, they're concrete goals. So, yung number 1 ko na goal is to study masters. And then, yung why ko, dahil nga cancel yung licensure exam, it's something that I can do for my career growth. And I can take advantage of the online curriculum. And then, for my second goal, ito something na hindi nagbago from the start of the year is to reach. Oh my gosh. Ang nilagay ko, and hindi ko siya babaguhin, so kailangan ko i-push yung sarili ko. I need to reach 10,000 subscribers in my YouTube channel.
Woo! Let's claim that. Woo.
Why? Monetization.
Oh my God! Sige, just share it. Kasi sobrang,
Oo. I mean,
mamaya ka na sabihin sa akin. Okay. Okay,
I'm
go.
just being true kasi nga 'di ba? If you listened really well kanina, I had to cancel an opportunity for another source of income. So, I want to ano naman, do something for myself, but at the same time, I can get something out of it as well, which is it will be another source of income. Two birds with one stone, 'di ba? Na it's something that I love doing, and it's me trying to keep life outside of work, and parang since more accepting na ako of myself, I think I have more uh, motivation ba to put myself out there. I just need to give time for it. Pero yun yung goal ko na hindi talaga nag-change from my goal for this year. Nakakatuwa kasi alam mo yung kahit hindi ako masyado nag-upload because of the changes in setup, nadagdagan ako ng 3 subscribers.
Yay! Uy, celebrate the
Kaya,
wins.
yes,
Mm.
yon. So, ano siya, 'di ba, win pa din siya kasi despite me not being consistent in my channel, nag-grow pa din siya kahit papaano. And actually, I'm starting to get support from people na dati tinataguan ko na may channel pala ako, aka my coworkers. So, before kasi as in, nag-try akong i-rebrand yung channel ko na hindi ako nagpapakita ng face, ganyan. Ngayon, mas open na ako na, kasi na, yung isang co-teacher ko, he stumbled upon my channel. Hindi ko alam paano napunta yung channel ko sa feed niya. Siguro kasi teacher din siya. So, lumabas yung isang content ko about teaching. So, he stumbled upon my channel and then parang, okay, since nalaman na niya, sige na nga, sabihin ko na lang din, ganyan na, I occasionally upload in my YouTube channel, ganyan. And then, they're starting to push me to put more content out there. And yun, nakakatuwa. Sana ma-reach natin yung, sana ma-reach ko yung goal ko. And then for yung third goal ko na ngayon ko lang naisip is to have more me time talaga. Yun. I think I have to make a system na mas magkakaroon ako ng me time na I think I just started this week. So, yan.
Yes, I think hindi na kailangan i-explain in detail yung why no me time.
Yes.
It's very obvious from what we shared earlier. And it's common sense na why we need me time. Because we need to prioritize ourselves naman talaga. And, okay, moving on to my goals, which is very funny because we didn't talk about this at all. Pero yung goals natin, very aligned.
Really?
Yes. Okay,
Okay,
I'm
go.
going to start with regards to career advancement.
Wait lang.
Okay.
Sorry. Before you continue, ngayon yung makikita how to winning we are.
Grabe talaga to. Sobra yung wavelength namin. This isn't the first time, ha? Ang daming beses na pong nangyari sa amin yung ganito. So, okay. So, regarding career advancement, for you is to take your masterals, which is a step up. For me, my goal is to get promoted in work, which is also a step up, di ba? And then for your second one is about the subscribers
Yes.
for your channel,
Yes.
which is Dear Jessie. So go guys, subscribe Dear Jessie at YouTube. For me, my focus is the podcast. So this is actually like my first and second goals. Well, no, my second and third goals are both related to the podcast. So the first one is of course to finish season 1. Kailangan
Yes.
na, kasi marami pa tayong episodes that we planned. And of course, the main why is for our weekly bonding. And then for my second why, which is personal, is to train my commitment and consistency muscle. Because alam mo na yung sinasabi nila na consistency, any skill is actually like a muscle that we need to train. And for me, this podcast is a way to train how committed I can be. Yes. And of course, consistency because of, regular editing, regular recording, and regular uploading of the episodes. And then, my third one is to grow the podcast nga, which is the why is to monetize. Yun po talaga yung nakalagay dito sa akin. To monetize. And of course, to reach and to inspire more people.
Yes.
Kasi,
Uy, yun din yung nakalagay sa reach 10K subscribers ko, helping and inspiring people with my life lessons.
oh my God, see guys, Ang amazing talaga. Sabi sa inyo eh, twins talaga kami.
Yes.
Grabe, hindi talaga kami nag-usap before this. We swear. Promise
Kaya
talaga.
medyo
Cross our
kaya medyo
hearts.
kaya medyo mahirap mag-share kasi it's really our first time sharing, I mean, sharing it with each other and sharing it with you. So, yun. Wala talaga kaming alam sa mga sinulat ng isa't isa.
Grabe, 'di ba? Pero iyon naman talaga yon. Why I want to grow the podcast is first and foremost is to reach and to inspire more people. And then realistically is to monetize din naman, which is in relation to my bigger goal for 2021 and my bigger goal in life, which is financial freedom. So,
Mhm.
ayun siya. With regards to that like steps, this is like a mini step. And it's a good transition for our third category, which is to break down your big goals into mini goals. Para nga, mas madali mo siyang magawa. So, okay, I can go na since I'm
Sige.
already talking.
Mhm.
So, for the first one is with regards to work. So, my mini goal is to read articles weekly that is related to my industry, and then to this is dapat ano talaga siya. This is a habit that I should master is to read emails very, very, very carefully. Kasi meron talaga akong habit na skim ko lang yung email. Alam mo yun, na parang, nabasa ko na yung ano niya, yung gist niya. And then, ang nangyayari, meron akong nami-miss na little details sometimes. And then, for the podcast, so finishing season 1, well, of course, the mini goals, weekly recording, weekly editing, and then I added rin an optional one, which is to practice my articulation.
Hmm.
Kasi it's not only for the podcast, it will help me in general with regards to my communication skills. So that one. And then for growing the podcast, this is more on thought dump na lang yung goals ko. Kasi hindi ko pa talaga siya naisip how exactly I'm going to do it. Pero I have these ideas na like which social media platform to prioritize in promoting, and then how can I post better content, and then how can I like make my life easier, for example, in uploading, if I can just use an Instagram scheduler, 'di ba? Instead of me manually scheduling the content myself. Like on that day, it's better if I can automate it and schedule beforehand. So, yes, that's it for me, for my mini goals. Syempre yung ano nito, yung details nito, ano na siya, nasa weekly planner na siya or sa monthly planner
Or daily.
or daily.
Yes.
Tama, or daily. Basta, eto lang yung mini goals na naisip ko ngayon.
So for me, with studying masters, of course, I have to apply. Of course, I have to apply. So yun yung mini goal and then also a lot of budget for that. So medyo nag-touch siya sa finances. And then nilagay ko lang dito na for my daily goals is to study. Sobrang detailed ko. Sorry, Virgo. Hindi ako sorry pala, pero Virgo talaga. Nilagay ko dito, daily goals is to study 3 to 4 hours per day on weekdays and 5 to 6 hours of studying per day on weekends.
Ang galing.
So
Pero,
yun.
I
I
mean, yeah, sige, go ahead.
I work in that uh, kind of system na. may target number of hours ako of doing something per week. And then for uh yung for my YouTube channel, nilagay ko dito uh I have 3 points na mini goals. So number one is to vlog whatever I'm doing. As in film lang ako ng film para lang meron akong content whatever I'm doing nga. Tapos I'll just make a storytelling out of it. And then 1 to 2 hours of editing per day on weekdays and 5 to 7 hours of editing per day on weekends. Yun talaga nilagay ko.
Kaya mo ba on weekends?
Hindi kasi na yung number of hours ko din naman talaga na nilagay ko is out of my lifestyle. So for example, ah yung 5 to 7 hours kaya ang editing tama ba? Oo. I can edit kasi a full vlog for a whole day. So, yung isang episode, isang vlog na sabihin nating 10-minute vlog siya. Kaya ko siyang i-edit for the whole day. Kasama na yung thumbnail, description, and all. So, full day. Kasama na rin yung pag-upload. So, ang ginawa ko, kinalat ko yung hours per day para mas manageable siya. Actually,
Go.
ano siya tip siya sa How to be Productive. Nakalimutan ko kung sino yung author, pero How to be a Productive Ninja, yung book.
Yeah. I
Oo,
know that book, pero I
yeah.
haven't read it.
So, for you to manage your time well, so yung, for example, studying, instead of studying for the whole day of like a chapter na kailangan mong pag-aralan sa school, ganyan. Mas manageable yung mag-allot ka lang ng time per day. So, ikakalat mo siya instead of isang bagsakan. Yun.
Yeah,
So,
productivity hack.
yun. Naisingit lang namin yung tip na yun. Anyway, and then for yung inisip ko lang kanina na to have more me time, I think just to be consistent lang with my morning and evening journaling, yun. Hindi naman siya masyado nagte-take ng time ko eh. So, at least 30 minutes sa pagkagising ko and before I sleep, at least makapag-journal ako. Yun. So, yun yung mini goal for me to be able to reach that bigger goal.
Okay. So, before we summarize the worksheet for you, I just want to say that regarding the goals and the mini goals, you make sure na kaya mo talaga yung goals mo. And that's why writing the why, that's why writing the why is important, because the why will give you the motivation to do it. Kasi kung pag wala, magiging tamad ka lang.
Yeah, wala masyadong importance yung goal sa'yo.
Ayun, kaya importante that you write the why and you make sure that the goals that you write are realistic for your lifestyle. And yung kaya mo talaga within the 6 months time frame. And then for the other goals, pwede mo na siyang isipin next year.
Mm-mm.
Kasi mamaya, ay hindi ko alam kung ako lang 'to or baka may iba ring tao na when you write down goals, you think of the bigger dreams kasi agad. And then for me personally, I want to like do it na agad. And I end up feeling overwhelmed and burnt out. So, walang nangyayari. Nasasayang lang yung goals. So, I think it's a good reminder that having these goals and these systems, it's always about the progress. So, we just continue with the progress until we reach the destination or we reach our goal. And then we can do another goal. Hindi yung isang bagsakan.
Mhm.
And then for the mini goals, make sure nga na it's bite-sized. Yung it's really chunked into tiny pieces na kaya mong gawin on a regular basis. Kasi it's also about managing your energy.
So for the summary of the worksheet, what you can do is to write down and review five aspects of your life. So that is work or career. Number two is finances. Number three is family and relationships. Number four is health. Number five is personal growth. And on each of those aspects, you review and check your wins, your changes, and shortcomings. And then, next part, after looking back, is to look forward. So, write down your three big goals and don't forget to write why you want those goals. It can be the same as your goals during the start of the year, or you can change some things up. And after writing down the whys, write down your mini goals. It can be a monthly, a weekly, or a daily thing. So just make sure that you really,
Chunk it down.
yes, chunk it down there. And that's a wrap. We hope this episode is helpful for you in any way. If you have questions, suggestions, and comments, feel free to tag us at Chicas Radio in Instagram and Twitter.
Also, if you want to continue the conversation, head on to our Facebook group, Chicuz Radio. That's CHICUZ Radio. See you there and thank you for listening. We appreciate you and let's make Chica again soon. Paalam!
Bye!